Hi all, doing a quick video. I just seasoned some salmon. You can be able to check that out. Go to jwitten31 salmon seasoning. And this is just one of the methods of how I season it. But I'm planning on cooking it. So I have another video showing how I cook it too. But this was a different seasoning. I'm just making another video. So the pan's already hot. You can kind of tell when the pan's hot. When you put the oil in, it already slides around. I don't know if you can see it very well, but it's just sliding around the pan. So I know that it's ready. So I'm going to go ahead and put my salmon in. The salmon I have has the skin on it. So what I like to do is I like to cook the skin side down. I like to cook it with the skin side down. And then I just go ahead and cover it. And after I've covered it, I just let it cook. And what I'm basically looking for is for it to cook, basically. But I don't have to worry about burning the meat, because the only thing I'm basically burning or cooking really well is just the skin. So I'm going to go ahead and cover it, and we'll be back. Alright, just for a quick update, there's the salmon there. I have the lid on. I have it on medium heat. The whole time, when I cut it on, I put it on medium heat. The timer's just now cutting off. So now I'm going to open it up. I wanted you to be able to see me opening it. And there's the fish there. I don't know if you can see it very well, but it's cooked very good already. You don't have to cook salmon for very long. Me personally, I like to cook it long because I'm not a fish person. So I don't like the fishy taste in salmon. When you cook it long enough, it kind of makes it go away. Which I know it gets rid of some of the nutrients, but I'm okay with that. Because if it'll make it so that I'll eat a little bit of fish, because otherwise I won't eat it. But this is for my mom and dad here, so they don't want it too cooked. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it off of here, and I want to see what the bottom looks like. And do you see what I mean? It's pretty charred. I can take that off now. And what I like to do, in the inside of my pan, I like to wipe it out real quick. I'm just going to grab a tissue and wipe it out, so if there's any burnt part, I don't want the burnt part to end up touching my salmon. So I'm just wiping it out real quick, scraping up any brown parts. And what I'm going to go ahead and do, I'm going to take it off the stove real quick, is I'm going to take this, let me see, go to this part right here. There's the salmon. I'm just going to take the skin off of it. And it should just come off. I'm using my spatula, and I'm just kind of sliding it under. A little bit of meat may come off, but a lot of times it just comes right off. Do you see? How it just came right off? Scoot it back. How it just came right off. And this right here, I don't eat it. I give it to my dog. It's good for him. So I'm going to put it back on the stove. And at this time is when you can be able to put a little bit of butter in it if you want to. Instead of using butter, I'm just going to go ahead and use olive oil. You know what? Let me use butter. Why not? Sorry, my camera fell. So there's the butter. I put about a cup and a half, or not a cup, I apologize. I put in a tablespoon and a half in. And what I'm going to do is, this part is already seasoned. This is the part I took the skin off of. I'm going to have the skin, the part that had the skin on, side up. And I'm going to go ahead and grab the seasoning that I used, which was I just used some zest and lemon. Hi, little ones. I'm taping now, so hold on. So I'm just going to sprinkle some on. Take that part off, there's a little bit of skin. Put it on there. And I'm just going to let that cook for a little bit with the lid on. With the lid off. And the cool thing is, it doesn't have to cook for long. So I'm going to set the time for 2 minutes. And then I'm going to flip it. Because the way you know that salmon is done is it kind of falls apart. And I'll show you what that means. So I'm going to lift this up a little. Yep, it's already cooking. And I'm going to go ahead and flip it. Well, let me look at it. Remember, it doesn't have to be cooked for long. That looks good. So I'm going to let that cook for 2 minutes. I didn't even let it cook that long. I set the time for 2 minutes, and it hasn't hit the 2-minute mark. So I think I let it, when I put it on, I let it be on there for like 30 seconds. So I'm going to heat that side, and you can see already it's starting to break apart. And then that's basically it. And I have some coleslaw made. If you want to see how I made the coleslaw, you can go to jwitten31 coleslaw. And I use my grab-and-go sauce for my coleslaw, so you can even do J. Whitten 31 coleslaw mix, also to see how I made the mix. But it makes so you can be able to make the coleslaw simple, easy, and quick. Like in less than a minute. Especially if you already have it chopped up, or if you already have it bought from the store, the coleslaw. So this is done. My parents are hungry. I can be able to feed them nice and quick. I also have some brown rice. And what I'm planning on doing with that is I'm going to cook the brown rice in this so I can be able to get that meat, the salmon flavor. But that's another video. You can be able to look that up, you know, J. Whitten 31 brown rice with salmon. So you can see how I'm going to season that. But that is basically done. And let me go ahead. I just flipped it. Do you see how it's just falling apart? It's just falling apart. Now a little bit in the inside, it's still red. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it down a little bit. I'm going to put it on medium-low. I'm just going to put it on low. I just put it on low. And what I'm going to do real quick, because I don't want it red inside, I'm going to cover it real quick, kind of steam it. And I'm going to set the timer for 2 minutes, and I cut the burner on low. Like the burner goes all the way from 8 to high, I put it on 3. So I'm going to let that cook for 2 minutes so I can cook the inside of it, and it's done. Alright, it's halfway through the 2 minutes. I'm going to flip it. Oops, there we go. I'm going to go ahead and flip it. Not burned, that's why I cut it down. And I have around 20 more seconds. So I'll be back. Okay, I actually let it go for another minute and a half. And this is what it looks like. Let me get my spatula. You see how it's breaking apart? And it's cooked all the way on the inside. You don't see any red, which is what I was going for. Alright, so I'm going to take that off because that is completely done. And I'm going to go ahead and make my rice in that time, but this is basically how you make the salmon. Hi y'all, here's the salmon. You see it turned out very good. And I just wanted you to be able to see it plated. And as well as other stuff I have on here is the brown rice with eggs, as well as the coleslaw that I made. You can be able to easily search that by doing J. Whitten 31 coleslaw, J. Whitten 31 egg and rice with salmon. And you can be able to see how I made the rest of the stuff that's on the plate. But here it is, so you see it's nice and great.